Man, that was spiffy. I like that. You feel that? You feel that, guys?
Wait, we're still not on yet. 3, 2, 1. Now we're on.
What kind of bullshit? What kind of bullshit countdown was that?
That was garbage. That was garbage.
Snazzy. That was snazzy music, though.
It was. I had a little thing. going.
You had a nice dance. You were
had the thumbs up.
You were doing something there. I'm not sure what it was, but you were doing something. That's for sure.
I was feeling it. I was definitely feeling it.
Yeah. We got to feel it nowadays. You know, there's not a lot of chance to get out there and dance. So you got to dance around your house and do other things like that.
We'll all stand in a circle around our shoes and pocketbooks.
How were the drive-in things, Larry?
They were things.
They were things.
Yeah, they were good. They both went well.
Good.
Yeah, there was a good time was had. The cops came to one of them. It was funny. Like this guy comes.
They came for fun, or they came to yell at you?
No. They came to try to shut it down. Some guy comes in, right? And I got my official clipboard, and I'm like, "Yeah, name." He's like, "What the hell is going on here?" So I point to the giant 40-foot screen, and I'm like, "Drive-in?" And he's like, "Who the hell told you you can? You know, there's neighbors over here." And I'm just like, "Yeah, no, I see the houses and stuff."
Yeah, you weren't like blasting the audio; it was coming through the radio, right?
We were blasting. It was like it was leading up to it. We had the speakers with music going.
Oh, okay.
You know, lots of Halloween, lots of King Diamond.
Yeah.
You know, so I could definitely see it being annoying. The thing was, though, this guy was like mid-30s. Like, I don't know that you should be that annoyed by King Diamond if you're like mid-30s. You know, so yeah, he was just like, he's like, who the hell do you people think you are? And I had to let him know, like, you realize this is like the 12th time that the city has done a drive-in here in like the past 2 months. Like, they've been doing them without me, like, for like a while now.
But the pre-movie music is usually like Barry Manilow. It's not Halloween.
It's like the Beatles. Yeah, it's like the Beatles or something. But anyway, he's just like, well, I'm going to call the cops. I was like, well, you can either do that or you can talk to the legal counsel for the city of Ansonia, who's standing right here. And he's like, nope, call the cops. I was like, well, all right. So he went and called the cops, and the cops came, and I was just like, yeah, you guys want to talk to the legal counsel for the city? And they're like, yeah, sure. And they're just like, all right, have a good night. And
nice.
That was the end of that. Like, now I could, yeah, a little Sepultura could get annoying, I guess, but it was only like 6:30.
Well, let me say this, and I went, I had a great time. I was fully in support of it, but I can say at one point I walked down from my car down to talk to Larry, so I had to pass by the screen and whatever I don't know, energy device was pushing the Halloween out, and I could feel my kidneys fucking moving. I had to walk by the screen, and I literally could feel my insides like move over a centimeter. So I knew it was pretty fucking loud.
Yeah, good times. But so they did go well. Even with that, I thought that was just like a little comic relief that that guy called the cops. But yeah, that's it. We're done now. The city is actually doing one more on Halloween night. They're running Hocus Pocus, which I want no part of.
Never saw it
for numerous reasons.
That's like my wife's speed. I'm sure she likes that movie, but
people love that movie.
Yeah. The people that like it love it. Yeah,
I think Christine Caprolozzi is a huge fan.
Yeah.
Some people, and if you love that movie, you love that movie. The Strand showed it last year and had to add a second date because it sold out, and the second date sold right out too.
Jeez.
Like people love, and you're talking like a 250 seat theater. People, yeah, exactly. She's right. You fucking get off our lawn. I'm surprised he didn't tell me to get off his lawn.
Get off my lawn, Warsaw Park.
Turn off your goddamn Halloween and get off my lawn.
All right.
You're not the keeper of the 7 keys.
Part 2. There are 2 of those. So this is the Friday the 13th series we've been doing. I think I'm calling it now Fridays with the Pint. But rarely on
on Friday.
But not on Fridays.
I think we've done one.
We did
at least one was on Friday. Yeah.
Cool. Tuesday is like one of my few nights I have that I'm able to do stuff. So it works out. But so we've done obviously the first 4 films. A couple weeks ago we did the final chapter. Well, spoiler alert, it wasn't so final, because here we are for part 5, a new beginning. How clever, okay? And kind of like we talked about the last time. Well, first things first, let's say hi to everybody that's on. Not only this is the first episode we're doing where we're live on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter, as well. So
I didn't even know you could be live on Twitter.
I didn't know you could be live on YouTube, but I knew you could do Twitter.
Yeah. So
I didn't sign up for this. This is not in the contract at all. Multiple social media networks. I'm gonna have to renegotiate. I'm gonna reach out to my attorney.
He licked his pencil. So we're here now, and we're obviously we're here to talk about Friday the 13th Part 5. As always, we got Scary Larry down there on the bottom. He is the the director of disaster, the master of the macabre, and then over there we have Stu from Pittsburgh. Stu is now
just a guy.
swoproductions.com. You can check him out.
Yes.
Killing it already.
I'm trying. Yeah, it's now I'm watching wrestling twice a week. It's real sad.
That sucks.
I know. Monday Night Raw is 3 hours long. When did that start happening?
How is that still around? That's still a thing. Monday Night Raw.
Yeah.
What about like Thursday Thunder or Nitro? Like no.
No, WCW died like 20 years ago. There is a Friday show. It's SmackDown on Friday.
Can we go to the ECW arena right now? No, Philly.
Nice. The bingo hall.
That would be nice. I saw him in New Britain. I bought it was Bring Your Own Weapon night, and I bought a VCR that Sabu hit somebody with. Fucking glorious.
I like how it's Bring Your Own Weapon night, and you brought a VCR.
Clearly a weapon.
All right. So if you want to check Stu out and his writing, just go right there to swoproductions.com, and you could see him talk about all of that good stuff, wrestling and comic books and all the stuff that everybody loves. Spielberg had put out there that Twitter is brutal, and I'm okay with that, Spielberg. I'll say it before anybody else. I'm fat. Okay. So if anybody wants to shut that fat guy up, I think he means that. Yeah. Or maybe he means like if I say fuck or something, they're gonna knock me out. Oh, look at that. Holly's alone in YouTube now. So she's there. But hey, look, that's how we're gonna build an audience. That's how we're gonna build an audience.
Alone now.
Tiffany.
Oh yeah. Big fan.
Now, before we get into talking about Friday 5, anybody that is on this stream, I guess, if you want a cool Pint of Comics sticker, right? We had some of these made up. Our buddy Andrew over at the Nomcast just had these made up for us. I appreciate it, Andrew, very much. Hit me on my Facebook, regular messenger, and we'll arrange me mailing some of those out to you because I'm not bringing it to you. Yeah, and Larry will send you a Cult Classics one. I'm not sending it to you. I'm going to send it to you because I don't want to get COVID from you. All right. Oh, Marty Langford, director of Doomed, the documentary all about the Roger Corman Fantastic Four. We've had him on the podcast or the radio show a few times. Great guy. He was very excited when the box set came out. This is the first movie that we've done so far that I watched the box set version, and I got to tell you, I was impressed with the quality of the picture. But I'll tell you right now, I think these disc holders are kind of shitty. Do you agree, Larry?
I do agree, and you are holding Holly's by far least favorite cover art. She was very upset with that cover art.
It's for
Part 5.
You're used to Blu-rays.
Honestly, it looks like a flyer looks like a flyer that I made at Kinko's in like 1994.
Yeah, it's not good. And I looked at a couple of the other ones. I went back. And they're classic art. Like the Jason Lives is the classic Jason Lives. Yep. And it's just this one movie, it seems like. Who is that? Is that Tommy Jarvis? I don't even know.
I don't know.
All right. I don't even know.
I'm going to say it's Vic. Let's go with Vic.
Sure. You know what? Anderson Eve asks, before you start, will you be adding Never Hike Alone YouTube shorts to the list? That is very funny that you bring that up. Okay.
So funny.
because Larry messaged me last week and had mentioned the 2 Never Hike Alone fan films, and I haven't even mentioned this to Stu yet. We are going to be doing those at the tail end of this.
Okay.
So we're not going to finish off with 2009's Friday the 13th reboot starring Sam Winchester anymore. Now we're going to go on to do Never Hike Alone.
Never Hike Alone. Okay, that's new to me. So yeah, that's interesting.
Yeah. So we're going to do that, and then we're going to stop, and then maybe we'll move on to something else. Maybe the I don't know, Chronicles of Narnia series. We'll figure something else.
Solid choice.
Prince Caspian.
Prince Caspian. So, she got lonely. Holly's back. And yes, Eve, she says, nice. Yes, we're going to do that. So let's start talking all about part 5. All right.
Jason part 5.
Well, is it though? No. So if you see my name is, what is it? Not Jason.
Don't spring ahead. Don't get ahead of yourself now.
We're not gonna get ahead of ourselves. But the first thing that I want to bring up before we kind of get into anything in this movie is a little bit of the information about it. Directed by a guy named Danny Steinman. This is the first movie that we've done so far, and the first movie in the series that jumps ahead. Ooh. Right? We have a time jump because every other movie took place.
The second one took place 5 years later.
Right. I apologize. Yeah. So
no, but this is like a legitimate jump in time. This takes place in 1989 when it was fucking filmed in 1985. So like, this is like legitimately in the future. Like
I'm surprised there weren't hoverboards or anything in the background of this thing.
Out of time. All right.
It's your kids, Marty. They're assholes. So we jump into this one here. Now, part 2, 3, and 4 take place over, as we call it, Jason's like exciting
Labor Day weekend.
Weekend at Jason's. This is part 2 of what we called the Tommy Jarvis trilogy. So it starts off with the Tommy Jarvis that we're familiar with, Corey Feldman. Only in the opening scene, and this is pretty interesting. I was reading about it. Corey Feldman jumped into this, doing that kind of cameo bit there. He was only available on Sundays because he was filming what movie, Larry, at the same time? Do you know?
Goonies Never Die.
The Goonies. He was filming the Goonies, and the only day that they could use him was on a Sunday. And not only that, but they sent, however they did it, the camera crew, that whole scene was filmed in his backyard. Yeah. So they brought a rain machine, and they brought a camera crew, and they brought a couple actors.
And a little fake Jason grave.
Yeah.
Nice.
Was he wearing Mikey's fucking raincoat from Goonies? Did he just borrow it for the
He very well might have. He very well might have, yeah. So we get the immediate cameo from Corey Feldman playing Tommy Jarvis again.
Which we don't know, at this point is a dream. I don't know if this is a direct continuation. You don't know. Like, he's standing there covered in rain, and he's watching 2 guys just hoot and holler, right?
Yeah. Like, it was literally says yeehaw.
Yeehaw. Yeah. It was like watching like the girls on MTV Spring Break, like back in the day. Yeah. Like, they're like, woo, yeah, and they're digging.
Very excited to be there.
Super excited to be there. Jason's grave is literally a ½ inch under the soil. Like, like, why did you even bring shovels? Why weren't you just wiping it off? Like,
well, not only that, but as they're shoveling, the one guy is yelling at the other guy, "Shovel faster!" But it's like neither one of them is really doing a real day's work here.
Are you in the wrong spot? Like, I don't understand why you're even. And poor Jason, like, Mom definitely got the better tombstone.
Yes. Yeah. Well, right.
Yeah. Mom had like a legit tombstone. Jason just gets a piece of wood, some spray paint. But at least they buried him with his mask and machete. Very, very important.
And here's the question I had.
And worms in case he had to go fishing.
They bury him with his machete, which I think is great. But what's in the other hand? A knitting needle? Did they bury him with a knitting needle? He stabs the one guy with a machete, and then he comes up with a fucking like a yarn implement and jams the other dude right in the head. Like, what?
I don't understand. I just didn't understand the whole. Woo! They were so psyched, but then as soon as they saw him, they're
Yeah.
What did you expect to see? Like what? Did you expect
Jason.
like it was just going to be a bunch of candy? Like a bunch of candy was going to come flowing out?
They thought they were gonna get the grave open, and it was gonna be a bunch of those snakes that pop out of the can. Yeah. now, Stu, did you hear what they when they're digging them up? I love this part.
I lost you for a second there. Did I hear what when they were digging him up?
What they call him?
No, I just remember them yee-hawing.
They go, "We got to get the main man." He's like, "What is going on?" He has
fucking buried Lobo.
Yeah.
Birthday party? Could they be celebrating his birthday? I don't know. I don't know when Jason was born. Does anybody know when his birthday was? Maybe it was a party. I don't know.
59 was when he died, right? So he was probably like 8 or maybe a really weird looking 13. He was born in the 40s. So he was about 40 in this thing.
Maybe it was a birthday party.
Yeah.
He had to have been born on a Friday the 13th, right? Like his birthday has to have been a Friday.
Or did he? Maybe he died on a Friday. I don't remember the backstory. All I know is that we're now in the future.
Yep.
We're like 4 years. We're in like 89. I think they even somebody. I don't know. I read it somewhere. They're in 89.
So wait, this is only 4 or 5 years after Part 4. Boy, Tommy aged hard.
Yeah,
he did
the fuck out of himself in a couple years.
He did, and he hit the gym. He worked on his ass. He crunched.
Oh yeah, no, he was MMA Tommy in this movie.
Yeah, he did some crunches. He definitely got some martial arts training, which you do. You get that in a psych ward. Lots of. Oh look, June 13th, 1946. Okay,
which I'm sure was a Friday.
Definitely a Friday. So maybe it was his birthday and they were celebrating. So yeah, Tommy went to the only psych ward where you could take martial arts classes.
Yeah,
I guess.
Well, if he didn't, at least his stunt double did. We'll get to that later on. But if it wasn't the actor who played Tommy, it was certainly his stunt double did pretty well with that stuff. So yeah, suddenly Jason's about to kill young Tommy, Corey Feldman. Last we'll see of him in this thing, and then we get our Tommy, our current new Tommy. I'm not sure of the actor's name, but he just wakes up and jumps up there all of a sudden, and he's now being transported in I guess a psych van, right?
Yeah, like a paddy wagon type. Yeah.
Now let's go over this real quick.
Being co-piloted by a man who's just openly looking at porn.
Yes,
wasn't he?
I want to talk about that.
I hate when people read magazines backwards. Drives me fucking crazy. Why are you reading from back page to front page? I know it's not reading material and you're just looking at the pictures, but still, you can read like a normal person.
He's watching her put her clothes back on.
Yeah, he's going. Oh, look at that! Oh, yeah. We're going from sexy to very demure. Oh, yeah. So I want to bring this up in 1980s or 1980s horror movies. I've noticed this trope, and even so far as we've gone in a couple of these, I think maybe in the final chapter with the medical technician. Like, was it a thing to just read porno or look at porno just out like in a work environment? Like, was because if that's the thing, maybe
you didn't have this back then.
Yeah,
you got to get your magazine out.
Yeah,
John, you act as if you've never seen a movie where they're in a locker room and a dude opens his locker and there's just naked chicks, like ripped out of magazines, everywhere. Apparently, this was a thing.
Actual physical porn that you rip the pages out of and do things with, and putting your food on top of the corpse. I mean, I don't know what. I don't know what else you thought happened in the 80s.
Right. Every goddamn garage you went to get your fucking car fixed, there were fucking pictures, nude chicks everywhere.
Yeah.
It was a strange time, the early 80s or 1989, whichever year they'd have us believe it is.
All right. Marty says this looks great. Background and titles. Thank you, Marty.
It does. It's very snazzy tonight.
Yeah. Well, I upgraded. I paid them instead of doing the free thing. So we'll see how that goes. So Tommy gets brought to, what was the name of the place? I should have wrote that down.
Pinehurst?
Pinehurst.
Oh, yeah, it is at Pinehurst.
Now, here we are again. We are 5 movies in, and we are at the 4th movie that does not take place at Camp Crystal Lake, right? Because 2 didn't, 3 didn't.
Well, this doesn't take place anywhere near any lake.
Yeah.
Do we know that for a fact, though? Because I was asking myself this. Is this anywhere near... These people knew about Jason.
Yeah.
So is it near Crystal? I don't know. They never mentioned Crystal Lake but I will tell you that I watched this last night, and it's probably the first time in 10, 15 years that I've fucking seen it. So maybe I missed it if they did talk about Crystal Lake, but
no, I didn't hear them talk about Crystal Lake at all. You could be right; it could be nearby.
Yeah, but it's just
not. There's no body of water here.
We talked about this on maybe the first or second episode, but the fact that, like, if you think about the Friday movies, the connotation is always Jason killing camp counselors at Crystal Lake, and here we are. He has been the killer for 4 movies, and he hasn't even been to Camp Crystal Lake yet. So yeah, no, I know that 2 was near it, but we're still not there. I think part 6 is actually at Crystal Lake. I could be wrong. We'll find out soon.
I think so.
Yeah, we'll see soon.
So let's talk like we did last time about... Now, I'm going to just come out and say this right off the bat. And
okay.
I mentioned this to Stu on a text, and I think he doesn't agree with me. But I think part 5, especially as far as we are now, across the board, has the best, and by best, I mean most entertaining cast of characters by far. Like, right across the board. We have got so many things to laugh at with these people. So,
and I was going to say my counter argument to this was Ethel and Junior, who are easily the worst characters, at least to this point of the entire franchise.
Oh my god!
They're not the worst characters. They're just the characters.
They're the worst characters.
It seems like they knocked from another movie and someone let them in.
They have that very 80s subplot where they walk in and they're like, "You kids, I'm going to shut down your camp."
Yeah. All right. So let's talk about the kids that are going to be fodder for Jason, or is it Jason? In this movie. So, right off, we start off with Tommy. He was 12. They said in part 4. He's probably 17 now. Very quiet. He is. He's obviously very disturbed from whatever happened at the end of that one. So he's you kind of get the feeling that he's going to be our main focal character, and then from the middle of the movie to the very end, disappears totally. So, we have Dudley from Different Strokes.
Yeah.
Okay.
Reggie the what?
Reckless.
Thank you.
Reggie the Reckless.
Okay. Reggie the Reckless. Right?
Whatever. Reggie the bikeless.
Yes.
Okay.
So he plays the cook's grandson. So he's not Pinehurst is for like maladjusted kids. Who
recognized his grandfather?
I did not. Who is he?
I didn't.
Otis from The Last Starfighter, the one who kept the one who was like, "You can do it, man. Just go for your dreams." Yeah, as soon as I saw him, I was like, "Fucking Otis, yeah."
Fucking Otis.
I love Last Starfighter. And
damn enchiladas.
Yeah, Arrow just put out a new release of it, so I got to pick it up.
Yeah, and Last Starfighter, directed by Nick Castle, who played Shape in Halloween.
Yeah. And starring what's his name, who was the ambulance driver in Halloween 2?
Lance Guest.
Lance Guest. Yeah, I never remember his damn name.
Star of Jaws: The Revenge, unfortunately, too.
Yes.
All right, so we meet Reggie the Reckless. He's a younger kid who's just it's kind of weird that his grandfather works at this place where these kids could possibly have violent tendencies, and he's just hanging out with all of them. But that's just bad grandparenting. We'll talk about that. Then
calling them all nuts.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm like, maybe that's not safe. That's not safe, but whatever.
We have two. We have a pair. The I guess the good-looking young guy and the good-looking young girl. That their entire character arc is that they fuck a lot.
Yes.
That's pretty much it. Is
on Ethel's porch or something?
Yeah, it got weird.
I think in the grass. I think in the
grass. Okay, yeah, it was somewhere right on her property.
She either said in the grass or in the ass.
Oh,
could have been both. I have no idea. No,
it was a twofer. It was a twofer. And the counselor is from Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. holy shit, Holly just blew my mind. He's the guy that gives Indy the hat.
Oh shit! Yes, he is.
He's like the original Indiana Jones.
Good job, kid, and fucking takes the hat off and puts it on his head. Holy shit! Yeah, he is.
Wow.
I knew he looked. He looks. I'm watching. I'm like, I fucking know this guy.
Yeah.
I couldn't. And I don't. A movie like this, I'm not looking anything up. I'm just like, fuck this movie.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, it's totally right. That's like one of my favorite scenes on The Last Crusade too, with River Phoenix when he takes the hat off and puts it on her head. Yeah.
Eve says that the girl that yeah, I knew that her last name is Voorhees, and you're right, Eve. The boobs I'm giving them a thumbs up. Thumbs up on those boobs. Absolutely.
This movie was just the Jason movie that just went, do you want to see boobs? Here are so many boobs. No woman in this universe wears a bra.
No.
No.
Yeah, no. And again,
the shirt is off for all of them, and it's just right there.
Yeah.
This easily the most kills, easily the most boobs.
Yeah.
They kind of eschewed story for boobs and gore. Well, not even gore, because they didn't even show a lot of the kills.
There's not much gore in this.
No, there's really not.
It's all very repetitive and the same, and it's just like close up of a scared face, close up of a weapon about to hit them, and then they're dead. And that's like 10 of the 12 kills in this movie.
And if you want to talk about like the boob factor and all that stuff, we got to also show that if you're going to bring up the sex and the violence in one of these movies, the drug use has to go up. Now, I'm not saying there's more drug use in this one, but we graduate just from pot to a cocaine scene in this one. What was it? It was a flurry in the mountains or whatever he says. That fucking guy.
And as
snow flurries up my nose.
As per usual, it's a guy who is just terrible looking.
Yeah,
hooking up with basically Kim Basinger. I'm
well,
like, it's basically my father-in-law, blowing lines and hooking up with Kim Basinger. I'm like, are you fucking kidding me?
I'm not super skeevy guy with the mustache.
Yeah. I'm not gonna give her Kim Basinger, but in their relationship, they're experiencing what we call the reacher settler. So he's reaching outside of his range, and she's settling for this fucking Freddie Mercury with a cocaine habit. You know what I mean? Yeah. It doesn't work. Yeah, his hairline was ass. Yeah, he is not the cool guy we hope for. Now, before we get back to the characters, I want to bring this up real quick because we are talking about characters fornicating, and we can't get far without this. I want to know about Stu. We're on pregnancy watch for part 5. So, were any characters secretly pregnant? What do you have going on, Stu?
I don't have anybody pregnant in this movie that we knew of to this point. No clues. No clues.
Okay.
I've started looking for it in other mediums, though. I was playing a video game this week where one of the characters says, "Oh, I'm sorry, I'm late again," and I was like, "Yeah, she's pregnant."
You're obsessed.
Jesus Christ.
Ginny was pregnant. Ginny was pregnant. 100%.
Ginny was not pregnant at all.
There were so many clues.
Not even at all. I will fucking find out. I will have somebody I know email her and find out.
Well, she doesn't know. You need to contact the screenwriter.
Oh, no, I don't. Stu may be crazy. This is completely true.
Stu may be crazy. Just stay 10 to 12 feet away.
I can't wait until later on the show when he says this is the one that actually was Jason.
Oh yeah. Well, that would turn it around on what we end up finding out. So, all right. So we got those kids. Now we also have another pair of girls. We have Violet, who is the goth chick who break dances to P-Funk music.
She was popping and locking.
And she's really into it.
Yeah.
She's
staring at her wall too to make sure that she has no idea if anything is ever behind her. Who dances a foot away from your wall just looking at it?
Marty spent a weekend at a con with Deborah Voorhees in Kansas. She's making a Friday the 13th inspired indie, which I think Eve also put down, or Holly. And she's the nicest person I ever met. And look at that. He's got you guys can click on that, go right to the page. And that's
a strong statement, though. Nicest person he's ever met.
Hey, you know what? We don't know much about Marty. He might know a lot of bad people.
John says Danielle Harris was the best smelling person he ever met.
She smelled pretty good. She smelled pretty good. Yeah. Spoiler for our podcast next week or this week. But yeah, I stood about a foot away from Danielle Harris at CT Horror Fest last year, and I she just smelled just right, and that's creepy, and I know it. So I'm going to stop myself right there. And Eve, in all caps, said she was not pregnant.
Yeah, I'm with Eve on that one there.
Yeah. All right.
But let's get back to 5.
Violet is the goth girl who break dances to funky music, and then there's the redhead girl who
Robin.
She is Robin, and she is the most nondescript character in this movie, except for the fact that she goes to bed with her shirt off. That's her thing.
Is this a thing? Because I've known a lot of girls in my life, and I've never known any of them to sleep shirtless. Like,
yeah, I can't think of any myself.
Yeah, and I don't mean known in the biblical sense. I'm not trying to brag. I'm just saying I've known a lot of girls, and I've never seen any of them sleep topless and braless. No, I've never seen it. So I don't know. Just things that I think about at night.
Things that I think about. Who do I know who may or may not?
I'm gonna start texting some friends.
Wearing a shirt right now.
Yeah. Are you sleeping with a shirt off? All right.
Explain to me the top sleeping situation here.
Yeah. So do we have any more kids?
We've got a few others. We have let me just get this up here.
What was the stuttering guy's name? Jake? Jack? None of those?
Jake is essentially Sulu, because when the adults leave, they put him in charge.
Oh yeah.
And he also is definitely not a Captain Kirk, because he very awkwardly tells Robin that he likes her, and then instead of saying like anything that would sound cooler than what he could say, he tells her he'd like to make love with her.
Yeah.
With her. She makes fun of him to his face, but then it seems like she turns around.
She does seem to regret it.
Yeah.
She openly laughs at him.
Yeah, well,
and then she goes up to her room and she's like, "Oh, darn it, Robin."
Yeah, what were you thinking, Robin?
Drats. Yeah,
drats. So we got those, and then to finish it off, let's see. We said the counselor Indiana Jones, who, when you watch this movie, kind of a formidable guy. You figure he's going to be a force against Jason. Railroad spike to the head in a tree, nothing. We get Pam. Pam is the female counselor. Pam's hot. Pam's not bad at all. And she's like, Reggie and her like canoodle a lot. Like Reggie must have like loved filming this movie, because she's always constantly holding on to Reggie.
This is jumping way fucking ahead, but the scene in the van when Reggie's like, "This is my girl Pam," she doesn't correct him.
No, she doesn't correct him at all. And the other thing that I found
him have that moment.
The other thing I found really weird about that scene, and again, it's jumping ahead, is she takes Reggie, who's not. He's not under her charge, but she's in, the adult in the situation, to see his brother.
Yep.
She's running this this place for kids, and she's okay with like the girlfriend and Reggie smoking pot in the van with her there with the 10-year-old kid there. I thought that was a little odd
the same
too.
thing.
Yeah. There's a lot of bad decisions being made right there by a supposed adult. Oh, Pam in the ever disappearing pink sweater. We'll get to that.
Wrapped around her neck. Yeah.
Well, yeah, but it keeps disappearing. Like if you watch the whole scene, like it's they are not there. They are not there.
Oh shit! I noticed that. Very nice.
Yeah. Every time they cut away, it's gone. Then it's back. Then it's gone. Then it's back. It was much better when it wasn't there. That's all I'm going to say. Like
yes, yeah. All right. So I think the last two kids we have exit early. Of course, we have the kid who's the impetus of everything. The fat kid with the candy bars. Joey,
who I have in my notes as Shelly 2.0.
He pretty much is. He is Shelly 2.0. The scene, I'll tell you what, this is a movie where people get killed in the worst ways possible. And the scene that makes me the cringe the most is when he grabs the white linens with his chocolate fingers. I'm just like, oh, you motherfucker.
Yeah.
You fucking asshole.
What are you doing?
I think I called him an asshole out loud, all by myself. I'm just sitting. I'm like, "Oh, you fucking asshole!"
I can help.
I was seriously okay with that. I was like, "Vic, great fucking job."
Yeah.
Yeah.
You gotta get rid of that. Speaking of, before we get much further, so we've got Vic, who we didn't mention.
Yep.
Who maybe didn't belong at a minimum security location.
No.
Or wielding an axe. Maybe that's not the guy you have chop wood. But Vic and Demon, yeah, both from Return of the Living Dead.
Yep.
Oh,
okay. Why I'm wearing my Return of the Living Dead shirt tonight. Yeah, they were.
This idiot gave us fake Jason.
Yeah. Shelly gave us a mask. This guy gave us fake Jason. So yeah, I was stoked to see that. I didn't remember Vic being. I remember Demon being from Return of the Living Dead, but I didn't remember. But as soon as I saw him, I was like, oh shit, I think his name is Suicide in Return of the Living Dead.
Yeah, he's like the leader, right? He's like the
He was like Trash's girlfriend. Like this isn't a costume. This is a way of life. And then Demon was the one who, when Trash started taking off her clothes, he was like, yeah.
Trash is naked again.
There are two things in this movie that I always forget about. And I've seen this movie 3 or 4 times at least. And every time I watch it, it's like this movie takes me by complete surprise in 2 parts. One I told John about and we'll get to later on or in a little bit or what have you. And the other one is when Vic kills Joey, it goes on for some time. And I eventually hit a point where I'm like, that's not a dream sequence. Like he actually did that.
Oh yeah.
Because it seems like it's a movie trope where like he goes berserk and axes this guy, and then you're kind of gonna like zoom out of his face. Yeah. And it's like it just goes on, and I'm like, oh.
Oh, and it did clearly go on because when they lifted the fucking thing,
he
was like an arm on the back, like just fucking.
One of the funniest scenes in the whole movie is when he lifts up the paramedic, not Roy. The other paramedic lifts it up, and Roy has that terrified look on his face, and everybody's like, hiding their face, and the other paramedic just goes, bunch of pussies.
Yeah, there's always the asshole paramedic. Like it's just typical 80s tropes. She was bothered by Vic wearing a studded bracelet up on his bicep. I get it. Yeah.
Look, we got to bring this up now. Nobody here on this doesn't know, so I think it connects well to this. So Jason is not the killer in this film, right?
What?
It's Roy. It's Roy the paramedic. Joey.
Oh, you mean the fucking like Lou Ferrigno and Howard Cunningham love child?
Yeah. But here's the thing. So when you go back and rewatch this, as I did and you guys did the other night, isn't it so obvious that like they spend so much time focusing on Roy's reactions to things that it's almost like when you see it at the end, you're like, oh, totally. Like there's even a bit where the sheriff is talking about something and Roy's walking by and goes, what were you talking to me, sheriff? Yeah. It's like, so yeah, the first time you see this in the theater,
and they do keep naming him. Like, because the sheriff at that point says, no, Roy. It's like, who just keeps referring to somebody by their name all the time?
Yeah. Right. I got a question.
There was a point where there was like a little bit of evil music behind, like behind Roy. I'm like, yeah, I definitely get what you're saying because rewatching it, like, how the fuck did you not know? But I don't remember. I don't think I knew the first time I saw it, but
I don't think anybody would have known it the first time.
Yeah.
But on subsequent viewings, they just lay it out there.
This movie actually does the best job of any of the Friday the 13th, and I guess only 3 of them would have this facet where there are multiple suspects. Because I told you the first Friday the 13th, when I looked it up, it's called mystery/horror, and I was like, there's no mystery here. This movie, there are actually people that you could be like, who's the killer here?
Yeah. Well, and I kind of mentioned this to Stu as well, and I think this is funny, and we're getting into it, but since we're talking about Vic a little bit, so unless it's off camera, Roy kills every motherfucker involved in this whole like school or whatever you want to call it, except for the dude that killed his kid. Yeah. What? Like you missed the whole fucking point, Roy. You know who did it. Like that would have been a great scene if Roy was the first Vic was the first victim, like in processing or in a jail cell, and Jason gets to him, like.
Or even like when he finally catches up with Pam and Reggie, and he just rolls Vic's head at him or something. Anything like that. Like your whole thing, from what Sheriff Mike Simonetta said at the end, was
oh my god,
I was like, holy shit, it's Mike. But for like his whole thing when he's because this movie is so obtuse, you have to have somebody fucking completely explain it at the end. This guy's like, oh yeah, fucking Roy saw his son get killed, so he had to take revenge. Like, revenge? He didn't take revenge because the guy he killed everybody but the guy who killed his fucking son.
I do want to say to Eve's point that you just put up on the screen. One of my notes is, why are the backup characters from Grease here?
Oh no, we'll talk about Lenny and Squiggy. We'll talk about Lenny and fucking Squiggy. We'll get to them.
I got a different thing for them, but I did want to point out to Larry that Mike Simonetta, who is Larry's partner over there at Cult Classics, he does all the programming and stuff with Larry, who's been on the Pint a few times. As I watched this, I said, I'm going to make a Mike Simonetta reference, and then Larry's going to go, nah, you're crazy. And then he fucking says it. He looks like Mike Simonetta without the goatee.
Yeah.
And I'm like, and the other thing is he's like constantly like chomping on the cigar, and you think that there's going to be more with him or he's going to get killed later. He's another character that just ends like no more of the sheriff. It's over.
And it's like when Ethel came in with her 80s subplot of I'm going to shut your camp down, and the sheriff has the 80s subplot with like the mayor, who's like, your ass is mine if you don't solve this crime. There's a lot of weird subplots where it felt like this movie wanted to be other movies.
Yeah.
How about the fucking dude who came to fucking clean out the chicken shit for soup?
Yeah.
Like,
I thought, because he's one of the characters, I thought like, oh, it's another character the movie is setting up as a decoy, a red herring, and then he's like the second person to die.
Yeah, like fucking he comes in and he asks for some soup, and she tells him to clean the chicken coop. Next thing you know, he's watching kids fuck.
Yeah,
and then you see a knife. And then him go, oh, and then you see a crow. I'm like, did that crow just hit him? Like, that's weird. I didn't know a bird could hold a knife.
So let's get into it a little bit, because we've already had Vic kill Joey, and one of the first actual kills in the movie that we get are the greaser guys. Now you said Lenny and Squiggy, you said the backup from Grease, and my first thought is, what are MCA and Adam Yah and King Ad-Rock doing here?
Early.
It's like 1986 MCA and King Ad-Rock in the middle of the woods. And I have a question about these guys from their relationship.
Oh.
Does the kid driving the car, and I'm not trying to be funny by saying this, does he own the other guy? Because he treats him like a fucking slave. Yeah. It's really like, these guys can't be friends. This is not a friend relationship where he's like, get the car started, buddy, or I'm going to kick your fucking ass. Get the car started. I'm going to go take a shit. What
I just assumed they were in a gang and he was just higher up in the gang. So he was giving the orders.
That's a good assumption. I kind of had him pegged as like a Butch and Spike type relationship, like big dog, little dog, or like a Christmas Story, like the fucking, the big kid and the little kid fucking, like with the coon fucking hat, like I kind of pictured that relationship like with those two.
I think Eve just put the period on the sentence. He's the top.
If that's the case, he's definitely the top. There's no doubt.
They also have kind of an abusive relationship, and I think that other guy he should get out of that.
It's another weird subplot, completely out of left field. It's just like they were like, what could we throw in to up the kill count? Like, they just came out of nowhere, two guys in a car. This dude's singing a weird song about, you better fix the car, motherfucker. Like, I'm going to kick your fucking ass if you didn't fix the car. Like, I don't understand what's happening. But yeah, and it just goes nowhere. They just get killed, and that's...
I respect any character who, I don't care if it's the 80s or the nows or the whenever. I respect any character that is just in the middle of the woods and is like, well, gonna go poop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna take... He didn't even have toilet paper.
No.
No. I thought that as he's walking out, I'm like, what did he wipe with?
Yeah, I don't see a
That's what I thought. It's so upsetting. Your
Did he
ass
wipe-
is just dirty, and they're on their way to bone chicks.
Yeah.
Like you're just gonna have a stinky, smelly ass. Nobody
Yeah.
wants that.
Yeah, nobody wants a stinky ass.
I hope this girl's not a rimmer, because she's in for a bad night. Things are gonna get really weird. Things are gonna get nasty for whatever her name is.
Thanks, I hate it.
DP says he wiped with leaves. Although there is that moment. Is he the one that sees the rabbit?
Yes.
He wiped with the rabbit. Then that makes sense. All right. So now we know. Now we know the answer to that.
So he's a bear, is what you're saying.
He is the bear. Yeah.
No, I have seen enough commercials on TV to know that bears very much love their toilet paper.
They do. You're absolutely right about that.
They're very upset about that.
All right. So, boy, you're right. You guys are right about this movie being
all over the place.
A lot of shit. A lot of shit.
A lot of weird fucking things. So I don't think we talked about Vic killing Joey because Joey was trying to give him chocolate. And Vic, I don't know if Vic's lactose intolerant, he's allergic. I don't know but Vic was unhappy. Again, did not belong at a minimum security anything.
No.
Or handling an edged weapon of any kind. But my favorite, which is a good lead-in for you, Stu, because I know this is something you want to discuss. Breakfast the next morning before Tommy shows up, and I guess Vi had set 2 extra plates, and just fucking Captain Wow, what's it, Dr. Matthew, is basically just like, listen, guys, I know how you all feel. It's not easy, to watch the slow kid get hacked to death. Just sit down and have your pancakes.
Yeah.
Like, what kind of fucking place is this?
Yeah.
But then Tommy arrives.
And who is it? I can't remember the name of the guy, but he sets Tommy off, and Tommy fucking goes John Cena on the guy, like picks him up in the FU and FUs him through a goddamn table. And I'm like, all right, Johnny.
Yeah, he didn't waste any. I think the kid came down with one of Tommy's masks, which
a werewolf mask or something.
You don't fuck with his mask, because remember Dudley touched the mask earlier, and fucking Jarvis was like, no fucking dice, don't touch my shit.
Reggie touched it.
Reggie, and
it's Dudley from Different Strokes.
Oh, okay.
That's a great moment too, because we talked about the writing in these movies and how, these writers don't all know how to write female characters, and a lot of it is like male wish fulfillment. And I noticed in the scenes with Reggie, these were white people that didn't know how to write a black kid, because he says stuff like, he's like, oh man, you're a smooth cat. Like he's talking like a stereotypical black guy in the 80s. Yeah. Every line, everybody else in the movie's like,
it's that scene from Airplane where it's like, do you speak jive?
Yeah. It was brutal, but he airplane spun him in the breakfast hall and puts him through that. And
he puts him through the table, and I'm just waiting for him to give him the 5-knuckle shuffle and Hulk up.
Yeah.
And it's not the only time, because later on in the movie, Tommy gets into another fist fight and he's like MMAing this guy. And it's like, where did Tommy learn like a black belt?
Yeah.
Apparently at another minimum security fucking facility.
The same mental institution that taught Michael Myers how to drive.
Yes. Yeah.
They're just giving you life skills in these 80s movie institutions.
Same one who taught Vic how to wield an axe.
Tommy, look, you're never going to get out, but we're going to teach you. We brought someone special to teach you. His name is Hoist Gracie, and we're really going to get you in there with the close grappling. You're going to really punch the shit out of some people too. And they were really like, the stuttering kid was really harsh on Violet with that line about you don't set a plate for dead people. And it's like, she made a mistake, dude.
Yeah,
calm down.
She's been making that place setting for probably months at this point.
Right.
And the very next day, she just makes the same place setting. Like, let it go.
Yeah.
Tommy's right. Deal. Tommy does remind me as well of what was his name? What's the actor's name? Shit.
I don't remember.
John Boy from the Waltons. He was Richard something. He was also in It, the miniseries. But you're right.
Richard Macer.
In my head right now, Larry is like, don't fucking talk to me about the Waltons, the poor man's little house on the prairie.
Yeah. Fuck the Waltons. 100%.
Little House on the Larry. If you didn't know, coming up from Pint of Comics after Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors is over. We're going to be doing Scary Larry's episodic breakdown of all 46 seasons of Little House on the Prairie. And remember, back then, seasons had 65 episodes, so this is going to take a while. Richard Thomas, thank you, DP, because yes, it is Richard Thomas. Yeah, he was in Battle Beyond the Stars too, right? So where do we want to go to next? We had the Beastie Boys got killed. Yep. Let's go to the Cocaine Cowboy and Kim Basinger. And their night of partying. They're gonna party.
Woo!
He just cleaned out his last bedpan and he's ready to get some. And my wife Lindsay, as we watch this, she just repeated over and over again that this woman couldn't love herself anymore. And this scene is so maddening.
Yeah.
Fucking.
And also for the second time in the Friday the 13th franchise, somebody off camera just chucked a cat.
Yeah.
I don't know why this movie loves throwing cats.
Yes. That cat was clearly thrown by human hands.
Oh, yeah. And at least in part 2, the cat is just kind of like, through a window and lands on a table. Somebody just fucking football through this cat and it hit a wall and...
Yeah. Well, not even that. Like, but, I mean, you're right about that. But like in part 2, it's in someone's domicile. It's a house. This is a fucking diner. Like, I'm allergic to cats. I don't want to be in no diner that's got a fucking diner cat. Like, you're telling me that there's a cat back there? Like, there's a possibility that there's cross-contamination from cat food into my food? Fuck you. I'm never eating there.
You need to calm down, first of all. You need to calm down. The issue at hand is that they chucked the poor cat into a fucking table. Okay?
Because it didn't land on the table like its head hits the table.
No, it kind of like bounced fucking face. Jason has a basket of kittens. Give his picture. He's fucking throwing a basket of cats around. So yeah, the Kim Basinger chick, again, nobody's wearing a bra. There's no bras.
No, it's showtime.
Right? She just it's
a basket of cats.
It's showtime. I don't even know why. That's because I've never like been in the mirror and just been like, "Hey, showtime." It's not a thing. I don't understand.
She did the from Jason Part 2, the spraying of her boobs to make sure they smelled nice. She didn't spray her the vag though.
No.
There was no concern about the fragrance of her vag.
Wait. She sprayed her boobs with breath spray.
Yes, Banaka.
I didn't even notice.
Yes.
Yeah. She goes in the mouth and then down south. And I'm like,
I don't know. Why don't you just rub them with one of those trees from your car? Like,
let's get a toothbrush out and just.
Let's be totally honest, right? Let's be totally honest. This guy out in the car, he would fuck her if she rubbed a piece of dookie on her chest. So the fact that she even put like Banaka down there is an upgrade for him, right?
Probably.
And then we get these two get off. He gets it right in the head. Right, he gets it right in the head. That would hurt the vag. Yeah,
right in the bald spot.
Right in, Jason. It's almost like Roy.
Yeah.
Here's a question, Larry. I want to know because you might know, or maybe Eve knows because you're a toy collector. If you buy a Friday the 13th Part 5 figure, does it say Jason or does it say Roy?
I don't know. I would assume it says Roy. That could only make sense, right? Let me see if I can find one.
All right, I'm curious about that.
I've got the internet.
He's got the interwebs.
Jason Part 5 toy.
So he's got a nice frisbee-sized bald spot.
It's the Punisher principle. He wears that skull because it's a target.
So we get an axe right to the inside of that. She comes out. She finds the cocaine on the floorboard. Immediately goes for it.
Wait, I think Larry has an answer for us.
Oh, you have the answer?
NECA Friday the 13th Part 5 Ultimate Roy Burns action figure.
Nice.
I appreciate that.
Although it's a spoiler.
That. Spoiler alert
if you buy it before you've seen the movie.
Well, but it's 45 years, 35 years, so it's okay. Yeah. It's all right.
Yeah.
I mean, I wonder if at one point they were looking to go in a different direction and make Roy the Killer for a while. I don't know. Maybe have a couple of these where it was him and then bring Jason back. I don't know what they were doing.
No,
Yeah,
I
Jason,
think
Jason Part 8 could have been the ultimate Roy versus Jason struggle.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
think it was kind of always supposed to be Tommy. I think that was what they wanted to do, right?
Yeah, we'll get to the
Hey,
ending. Of it.
yeah.
I've like 5 movies in, I've come to realize, unless it changes in the next one, that the last scene in every one of these movies,
Doesn't matter.
it doesn't matter. And why the fuck did you waste your time filming it? Like, you could have come up with a legitimate scare that also would work into, I hate saying this when we're talking about these movies, plot continuity, but like every one of these ends with a dream sequence on a boat or a canoe or a character suddenly becoming crazy. Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, I'm touching the water. I'm in the boat touching water.
So nice.
So wet.
So relaxed.
It's so wet.
At least for a while, they get back reference. Like, we see Alice get attacked by Jason in the lake. We see Baghead jump through the window at Ginny and Paul. But like the way Part 3 ends with Mrs. Voorhees coming out of the lake, that is never referenced again. They drop like that like the hottest of potatoes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and then
Go ahead, John.
at least Part 4 kind of does tie into it, because we end with a very like possibly crazy Tommy, and now we're like they followed through with that. At least like he didn't go and have. Here's a scene I love in Part 5, by the way. Here's a scene I love in Part 5, and it's funny because I'm thinking this, and Holly just brought it up. In the beginning of this movie, he's looking at the picture of his mom, sister, and the dog is in the picture. And as soon as I was watching this movie the other night, and I saw the dog, I thought, well, mom's dead, and Sally or whatever her name is off living, and Gordon, he jumped right the fuck through a window and never came back.
That's it. If you were a dog, would you come back with all that fucking craziness going on?
No.
I have to say that's one of my notes is that boy, Tommy's sister is the fucking pits.
Yeah,
she saved her life.
Yeah,
and she's just like, go to the mental ward. I'm done.
Yeah. Yep. She had no interest. She had no interest in it.
Tommy's in the hospital at the end of this movie after the second time in his life having to fend off a hockey mask wielding murderer. Sister's not around at all. What the hell?
No, she doesn't give a fuck. She's okay. She's okay.
I feel like we need to to talk about Demon and his girlfriend. That whole scene you brought up already, how weird it was that first of all Reggie, whatever the fuck his name is, asks Otis, his grandfather, his name probably wasn't Otis in this as well as the last Starfighter, but whatever his name was, if he could go see his brothers in town, which I guess in town means living in a van
down by the river. Yeah.
Yeah. But no, there was no fucking body of water. Stu made it perfectly clear.
There's no water in this movie.
No
except
water.
the rain.
No, but he is living in a van down by the outhouse, which we need to talk about.
Yes.
So they're like, okay, this makes perfect sense. Pam, you take your the little kid to see the degenerate brother living in the van smoking weed with a young Janet Jackson.
Yeah. And also take the new transfer that we have who just beat the crap out of somebody and attitude adjusted him through a table.
Yeah, this dude is clearly stable. You need to take him with you as well. And I think while they're there, isn't that when he gets into the fight with the Goober kid the Goober?
Yep.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect timing.
That's where he MMA's Junior, yeah.
Yeah, so he's fighting the Goober, and they finish their visit because the visits, whatever. The only good thing that came out of the actual visit was he gave him a skull ring, and Dudley got to pretend that Pam was his girlfriend and she didn't fucking correct it. But then later, the enchiladas creep up on Demon, and he
just has a pile of prepared food.
Yeah.
Enchilada?
The enchiladas creeped up. And we get another shaking outhouse scene.
Yeah.
I'm like, how many fucking outhouses can get shaken in a Friday the 13th movie? Like, this is just, and then you're singing doo-wop to your girlfriend while you shit.
Yeah. So let me tell you guys a quick story. Baby. Yeah, baby. This is here's a little story as to why this movie has a special place in my heart. October 13th, which was a Friday in 2006.
Ooh.
Yeah. You sang doo-wop to your wife while shitting?
Well, no. Yeah, well, yeah, that's part of it. No, a very good friend of my wife and I's couple got married at Crystal Lake in Middletown. Okay, they're not huge fans, but I think they thought that the whole thing was a cool idea.
Yep.
That night after the wedding, we got home. It was like 11:30, and we were up. We turned on HBO, and this movie was playing, and it was that scene. And I had not seen this movie probably since I was a kid.
Yeah.
And this bit with them singing to each other has been a joke between me and my wife for about 15 fucking years. And every time I see this movie, just the whole thing about it, every little bit about that scene. Hey, baby. Ooh, baby. You better stop trucking around, bitch. I'm going to come out there and smack you. This scene is
in his perfect Dave Chappelle as Rick James impression.
Yeah. With his mighty soul glow. That he had. And oh, hi. Everybody say hi to Owen.
Owen.
And I need to say, not only do we get another outhouse shaking, but we get another guy who stands up and pulls up his pants without wiping his ass.
Yes.
He finishes taking his shit. And, well, I get it. You're concerned because, Janet Jackson has stopped doo-wopping with you while you're shitting. But you still might want to at least just clean some of that up before you open the door.
No.
Hey, what's it?
He's got to get penetrated by a what does he kill him with? Like a
I don't even
rod.
know.
Yeah, just some kind of
Was
pole.
it like a street sign? Like I didn't even know what
I don't
that
know.
was.
Why does that say Owen? What have you done, John?
John put it there for you. Oh.
Oh.
Yeah, Holly's right. Demon did have in Return.
Yes.
He does have a much more Rick Jamesy haircut in that one. He trimmed up a little bit, but yeah, this is not my favorite kill in this movie, but this is one of my favorite scenes in this entire thing because it just makes me and my wife laugh so much. It's so bizarre. It's so bizarre. It's just, and again, you're right. It's like almost like at this point, 5 movies in, they go to sit down to write a new movie, and they've got an outline of different things that can you fit it in here. Lick your pencil, Larry. Larry, we're gonna do another one. Can you get a shaking outhouse scene in this?
Oh, clearly.
Can we end it with a single girl on a canoe, and then something scary happens? Can you do that?
Yeah, we.
And how about a basket full of cats? At some point, we're going to toss one.
Chucked.
We're just going to chuck a cat right in.
Make it rain.
Everybody knows Jason has a basket of cats.
Yeah.
So
you know what else you're forgetting though? In this movie, they also went back to the when somebody dies, if only they could be holding fruit as they die, and they can crush it.
Yeah, we haven't talked. Let's get into Ethel and Goober Boy.
I'd rather not.
Never.
I'd rather.
Here's my problem.
They're the pits.
Here's my number one problem with these characters, and you're not even gonna. This isn't even on your line of thinking. But so he goes and gets his ass kicked by Tommy at the trailer park. It's got to be like 8 or 9 at night, right? Like you figure.
Yeah.
He goes back. He does that whole thing where he drives around, Mom! He's screaming, and she mentions that she's making his dinner. Yeah. She's making a stew or a soup that is easily not going to be ready for another 4 hours. Like
she's not even heating it yet. She's just putting the vegetables in.
She's cutting vegetables into a pot of water. Now, look, I've cooked. I'm not like Larry.
Every character in these movies, earlier she shitted and didn't wipe. So,
well, I mean, not just that, but they do show her spit into the soup too. She spits in it at one point, like to spite him.
I don't like it.
Yeah, these characters are really weird, but they get off pretty cool too. We get him doing his laps, Evel Knievel style, around his front yard until stew. She was making a stew. As he passes by a tree, we get a machete, chop the head off, and then it almost seems like they go into part 3 for her death because it seems like it should have been a 3D effect.
Right.
Oh, yeah.
The fist comes through the window, grabs her by the head. I think, does he just crush her head?
No, he hits her with a fucking butcher knife, but it's again another one they didn't show.
And then she just goes face down into the
pot.
stew.
Yeah. All right. Well, let's
squeezes that tomato.
Tomato. Yeah. Holly has a question. If we were going to give this sequel a new title, what would it be? Ooh,
I already did this. I did this last time.
Well,
all of these movies have their own titles.
What, Stu? If you had to give it another new title, what would you give it?
Another new title. Let's come back to me.
Okay,
think about it. Yeah,
Larry, you got something? If you were actually going to title this to something,
God.
Oh no, you know what? I know, because it's actually going to be one of my comments later on. If I was giving this movie a title, it would be a Friday the 13th Part 5, the filler episode.
Okay. All right. I would go with Friday the 13th Part 5 Greatest Hits, because it seems like we're really jamming all the greatest hits into this one.
The chainsaw attack.
The chainsaw attack.
This movie has so many callbacks.
And that's how you know this isn't really Jason, because when Pam goes at him with the chainsaw, he fights her off. Real Jason, Baghead Jason, shit his pants.
Coward.
He's like,
it's true. Good point. Yeah, no, not the buttering.
Not the buttering.
Friday the 13th Part 5 boobs. I just call it boobs.
Yeah.
That is also fair for this one.
Yeah, I would actually almost go one more. Hold on, let me bring it up here if I can. I think it would be Friday the 13th Part 5 heavy boobs, because like that, let's just be honest, that girl had some heavy boobs going on there. So let's get into the home stretch where all the kids start getting killed off. First off, for the kids, we have sex couple, right? They go down right in the middle doing chores. They're just like, fuck it, let's go fuck.
They're cleaning those sheets that Joey wrecked earlier with his Choco hands.
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys just like, we gotta go.
They just go right down. They don't even care. They pick a secluded spot that's 18 feet away from the house. They're nowhere. They didn't like walk in the woods for 5 minutes. They literally just walked 18 feet away.
They went to the first clearing they could find.
They found a clearing, and I think they put a blanket down, and then we get a pretty quick sex scene, which I was watching the making of, which is like a 12-minute thing on the disc, and I guess they made him cut a ton of it out. There was a lot more, I guess, boobage. He said the MPAA had a big problem with me showing two young, good-looking people's bodies, and it's like, okay, guy, all right.
This guy made porn, so I'm not surprised.
Yeah, I saw that in the comments earlier. Somebody mentioned that. So.
Oh, this is a porn guy?
Yeah.
Well, he made some porn early on in his career, and then I think the only other movie he made was Savage Sisters with Linda Blair, like before this. I don't think he made anything other than some kind of porn or something. But yeah, he made porn before that, which doesn't surprise me after watching this movie.
Yeah, no, it makes sense.
Lots of boobs, no plot. Perfect.
Yeah. So they do it. He immediately has to go down to the river, which there is body.
There's water. That's right. Yeah, because he washes up.
He washes his dick in the river.
It's not a lake.
No. And then we get back to a pretty, I guess, glorious scene, gratuitous of Miss Heavy Boobs laying there and just kind of laying down, relaxing, totally stretched out. Like she is so comfortable in the stew with his shirt up. I don't know what to do with that. But she's just enjoying herself. There's a shot in this that I really like a lot. So she's laying there. Jason kills her by using some what do you call those?
Shears.
Yeah.
Right through the eyes. Right, clips her. You hear the crunch through the skull. He's coming back from dick washing in the river, and as he's walking back, he does something like a 9-year-old boy would do. He picks up a stick. He smashes a couple things with it and then throws it. I just thought that was an interesting character choice. That's something I would have done.
I was going to say that probably wasn't even direction. That was probably just the actor just being like, fuck it.
Yeah.
He comes back.
It's like how every man in the world, when you walk underneath something, you reach up and touch it. He just picks up a stick and hits things.
He comes back. He finds her dead body. He freaks out. He backs into a tree. Bad move. He gets a belt around the face and then a steering motion, and his head gets crushed to fuck, as a matter of fact.
Yeah. Did you notice though that they went Like in one scene, he's twisting it one way, and then when they flash back, he's twisting it the other way.
No.
Yeah. I didn't notice that. I'll go back.
Fake Jason in his head had to do the lefty loosey, righty tighty.
Eve has let us know that the Miss Heavy Boobs was in Playboy.
Oh.
I will be doing some research later on tonight on that.
Just clearly for educational purposes.
Clearly for educational purposes. I will be checking that out. And so, I feel like if I call her Heavy Boobs, I have to look a little bit more. I have to know, like, is it truly a heavy boob? Right. Maybe it's a light cruiser boob. I'm not sure yet. So, oh, she was a bunny at the club too, Dino. Look at that. Everybody knows more about these movies than we do. Great. All right. Savage Streets, I guess Holly says. And heavy breathing in the sun. Yeah, that's what they did. So we get back. Pam brings him to see Demon, and then we have the rest of the kids left over. Jake and Robin are watching a movie. Robin's really watching a movie. Jake's trying to get up the courage to tell her that he wants to make love with her. And she is not like so into this movie. No, not on her, not near her,
not for her,
in her. I want to make love in you.
What's going on, Jake? I'm trying to watch the end of Casablanca. I like you a lot, Robin, and I just want to know, want you to know that I want to make love on you.
What's worse, on you or in you? I don't know what would be the. I don't know what would be.
On you is worse. On you is worse because it implies that there's not actually going to be intercourse. They're just going to lay across you and be like,
"Oh well, poor stuttering guy. He probably died a virgin."
He did. He certainly did. Now he gets embarrassed when she tells him that he's lame. He goes upstairs, and what happens to him? He
goes to see Vi, who's fucking busy popping and locking.
That's where I suddenly didn't feel bad for this kid anymore, because he reminded me of the twins in part 4, who immediately moved from guy to guy. Whoever's dick was closest, they were going to go. That one twin was going for.
Yeah.
This kid makes you think he really likes Robin, but once Robin's like, no, he's like, well, maybe I could fuck the goth girl. And he goes for it, and she's just like, get out of here. Yeah, at least you didn't call him a dead fuck. Oh wait, hold on. Yes, we did not talk. We talked about it earlier, Holly. The random stranger that came to work for Ethel for food and board. Now I've seen this movie, but every time I see it, was anybody else nervous that Ethel was going to propose a sex thing for food? Because that would have been the most nightmarish sex scene ever. Is if she said, like, well, I'll fill your stomach if you I don't know.
Fill my stomach.
Don't say it. Don't fucking say it.
If you buzz through, forget it. Yeah, you're right.
Don't do it. Just don't do it. For the love of God, John.
I'll give you some stew. You just got to eat a little clam. It's
I thought she was going to take his. I thought she was going to take him.
Yeah.
Right. I
didn't think that was going to be her offer, but if he didn't die when he did, I thought that's where that was going later in the evening.
Yeah.
That would have been terrible.
Yeah. That guy just came out of nowhere. I don't know why or where. This doesn't, I remember 1989, people weren't wandering to people's houses asking if they had work.
Yeah.
Hey, I'm hungry. Can I fix your shed? No, probably not.
I ain't had nothing to eat in 2 days, is what he says.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, go see fucking Demon up. He's by the fuck. He's got enchiladas.
He's got tacos,
enchilada, pizza, weed. There's an outhouse real close by. If you get there early enough, you can see this crazy kid beat this other kid up like really badly.
He might give you a ring. Depends on how he's feeling.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
No idea.
So yeah, he gets killed after trying to see Vi. What happens to him? Does he just get stabbed, or he gets?
I don't know if we see it. I just know his head ends up in Robin's bed.
I can't remember if we see him getting killed. Yeah, we just see his body.
And then we go into Violet's room. She's straight up popping and locking.
Right, she's facing that wall.
She's essentially doing her best. Remember Boogaloo Shrimp and from Breakin'? She's doing like her best Boogaloo Shrimp impersonation. And then we get the feet in there. And what does he do? He jacks her up, right? He he pushes her up against the wall.
Yeah,
I think, and just like stabs the shit out of her.
yeah.
I
feel bad because we're usually better at this, but this movie had nothing but a lot of really repetitive kills.
Yeah. How did Violet die, Larry?
Oh, she got stabbed in the stomach and lifted up the wall.
Okay, yeah. You knew it. You knew it.
It was supposed to be a stab in the crotch, but
we get one of those later.
Somebody nixed it. Somebody somebody got it out of there. But so yeah, she gets stabbed in the stomach and like lifted up the wall.
All right. So Violet's dead now. Only kids left in the house. Are there any left in the house?
Robin is still around at this point.
Robin takes her shirt off
to go to bed.
Now Robin's the opposite. She's not heavy boobs. She's hard nipples though. Takes the shirt off. Has a very regretful moment that she didn't sit on the stuttering kid's face. Goes to bed. Now she has her chance to sit on his face because his face is in her bed. Right she rolls over. She sees that, and now once again, as we talked about, going into the well of greatest hits, we get another under the bed bunk bed, and this time instead of a arrow or a spearhead, it's a machete. Now, did anybody else notice? I'm thinking. Go ahead, Larry. Go ahead.
I wonder if you're going to say the same. Yeah, I wonder if you're going to say the same thing as me.
I think that if I was underneath Stu's bunk bed and I wanted to kill Stu, and I'm a fairly strong dude, I think I would have to exert a lot more effort to push a machete through the bedding, the bed, and Stu's body. But Roy, it's like a hot machete through butter.
Yep.
What you don't know is that she actually had a waterbed bunk bed.
Oh,
right up through.
Oh, see, okay, they did film the crotch scene, Eve said.
So Violet got it in the crotch?
That was how it was originally planned, but what they showed was her getting it in the stomach.
I got to be honest. I enjoy these movies, and I do enjoy a certain level of gore. I don't need that crotch shit. Like, I'm okay with her getting it in the stomach. Yeah. You know, I'm still scarred from seeing Evil Dead for the first time when I was a kid, and the tree scene. Like, I'm still that's hardcore. So
it's a tough scene. That's a tough scene.
DP says, but you clearly aren't powered by insane grief. Well, I don't know how insane Roy's grief could be. He didn't like Joey enough to keep him as a kid.
Or even tell him he was his dad.
Yeah. He's like, this guy's first of all, like we said, he doesn't kill the actual killer. And then, like, it's like, this is like real weekend dad bullshit, Roy. Like,
but somehow Roy's got a picture of his wallet that was taken of him like 2 days ago. He's like wearing the shirt that he died in.
I love
where did he get that?
Roy had a camera with a telescopic lens. He just spied on him.
It's like, well, first of all, now we know that Roy is an extreme narcissist because the first picture in his wallet is Roy.
Yeah.
You're looking good, Roy.
It's essentially like if lost, return to this man.
That's how dumb this movie is. It has to explain itself to you. It's like if we don't put a picture of Roy in his own wallet, nobody will know it's Roy's wallet. Well, fucking put that in there. Well, who thinks of these goddamn things?
DP makes it maybe a good point. You can't just kill the killer of your secret son. Because that might point to, but it's still a secret, though.
It's still a secret. No one's going to come to you for that.
No one's going to come to Roy. No one knows it's Roy. So DP,
he loses his wallet and someone finds it.
So now we get the scene once again, greatest hits of Friday the 13th that we get in every one of these movies. And it is the survivors return to the scene of the crimes, find the bodies all. Now, Roy does the Jason thing. He puts all the bodies in the same place. And Reggie walks in on the bodies. Sends Pam in. Pam walks in on the bodies. And then we get the final showdown where Roy, a.k.a. Jason, is chasing Reggie and Pam. Now, what we get... Oh, good.
Didn't we get Roy? Didn't he Kool-Aid Man through the fucking wall first?
Yes, he did.
Yeah, just like Jason in 4. He just...
Yeah. Yeah, but was it even a door? I think it was a fucking wall. I think this dude went strong. Listen, if he can slip the fucking machete, he's Ferrigno, dude. You saw his face. He's Ferrigno and Howard Cunningham. He's like a beautiful cross between the two. So
he's pretty mighty, but a little schlubby. He's both. Yeah. No, totally. He went right through that fucking door again. Mm-hmm. Like, what is with these doors in 1985?
Yeah, I thought they were stronger back then. Like,
no.
You just gotta chest bump them like you just scored a touchdown. They go right down.
Eve brings up a very, very good point.
Reggie's scream.
Oh God!
I don't know if I remember it in particular.
What?
Oh,
it was a high pitched female scream.
He's not even in puberty yet. Don't shame Reggie the Reckless.
I'm not shaming Reggie the Reckless. I'm just saying that you two need to go rewatch that scream tonight. You need to fast forward right to that fucking scene.
Right to that. Okay.
And
it's still in my it's actually still in my player. I might have to do it. Yeah, I don't remember his scream at all.
Yeah, it's a thing. It's
can we also talk about, while we're going into, you know, the ending of this movie and Larry's, how poorly this movie was written, at what point was the writer just like, Tommy just disappears?
Yeah, we don't need this guy anymore.
He just vanishes. We don't need any mention of it.
Were they trying to set up that maybe he's the killer? Is that
they were trying to, but it's like he fights
if we keep
Junior.
If we keep this guy out for half an hour, maybe people will think that he's the fucking killer.
Yeah.
I don't remember any point when I was a kid seeing this movie ever thinking that Tommy Jarvis was the fucking killer.
Yeah.
I don't think I knew it was Roy, but I certainly didn't think it was Tommy. Like they didn't do a fucking good job with that red herring if that's the case.
Well, I mean, and I think you're still supposed to be thinking this is Jason, right?
I think so, yeah.
Well, why does this movie take so long to show a man wearing a hockey mask? Like, you just see feet and you see people getting killed, but it's not until the end with Reggie and Pam that you see they're being stalked by a man wearing a hockey mask. If it's going to be a man wearing a hockey mask and you're going to think it's Jason, why don't you just do that from the start?
Oh, you know, that's a good point. I didn't notice that. You do not see the hockey mask.
No, you don't see him in the hockey mask till everyone's dead except Reggie and Pam.
Yeah, the only hockey mask scenes you see is like Tommy's flashbacks.
Yeah.
Where he sees where he imagines Jason, and it's Jason with the red fucking stripes, so it's the actual map,
right?
With the scratch.
Yeah, it's not until later that you see whoever this Jason is with the blue, which just want to ask the question. So you get Jarvis imagining Jason in the red, you get Roy with the blue stripe mask. Where's the fucking mask that's on the cover of the fucking the poster in the VHS? Like,
with all the
square holes. And,
yeah.
Why was that even used for anything? Like, if it was never in the movie, I don't know. Listen, call me again. Things I think about at 3 a.m.
Things that keep Larry up at 3 a.m. That I guess that is a pretty good question. So
I don't understand why this movie waits so long to do that. Like, the movie either wants you to think it's Jason or it doesn't, but it seems like it's setting it up as, oh, there's a killer, to, oh, the killer's Jason, oh, the killer's not Jason again.
Right.
What's the point?
That's a good point, Stu. I never even thought about the fact that you don't see him masked up until the end of the movie. And then my other question is, and it's jumping ahead just a little bit, because we have the big final showdown, which, if we go back to the greatest hits, part 3, it ends in a barn again. He's fighting off Pam, Dudley, and then Tommy shows up again. And so I'm assuming he's wearing a full Jason mask of some sort. But my question is that when Roy gets killed in this one, he gets knocked off of the barn and falls onto a
bed of nails,
a bed of spikes that just happened to be there. Why is
that farm equipment you have, bed of spikes?
The bed of spikes. Why? Maybe Roy didn't wear the mask the whole time. Why is it when he lands on the bed of spikes and the mask comes flying off, why does his latex mask explode?
You didn't know that when you fall on spikes, your mask explodes?
Yeah.
No, that's clear. That's science, dude. That's science.
That's just science.
That scene would have been done so much better is if, like, he hits the bed of spikes, they go down, they take the mask off, and then they see the cut in the mask.
Yeah.
Or why is he even wearing a mask? Like, just shave your head, Roy. Like, you could tell people I shaved my head. That's not illegal, right? It's not like,
no. In the 80s, it was.
Yeah, okay. They would have said he was a skinhead. Yeah, it was explosive latex. Like, literally, that it looks like a firecracker.
Yeah, it just goes poof.
Yeah.
Yeah. Did you also notice there was a lot of eye damage in this movie?
No.
Fucking Boobs got killed, stabbed in the eyes. Her boyfriend got the thing across
belt.
the eyes. When poor Otis from the Last Starfighter gets thrown through the window, his eyes are gone.
poked out. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
His death was the one I felt the worst for. I was like, don't kill the nice old guy. No, fucking. And again, go back to the greatest hits tropes. Another body thrown through a window. Like there's like Jason. There should be somewhere in my room here. I have this guide that came out with a few years ago. It's called How to Be Batman. It's like a joke book, but it tells you all the things. There should be a guide how to be Jason. You have to throw
one basket of cats.
You know, kill kids in these situations. Fucking drugs
in a barn.
In a barn. We have to be near a body of water, and then one of them, you know, it should. I don't know. It just cracks me up that it seems like okay, right through the window. That's one of the things you got to do. Throw someone through a window.
You got to run through a fucking wall or a door.
Oh, yeah. Kool-Aid through
your way right through things.
Yeah. There was another thing that Tommy Jarvis basically just almost killed that dude at the beginning, slamming him through a fucking table.
Yeah.
And then he kicks the shit out of Junior. But then when face to face with Jason, he just stands there until Jason cuts his stomach.
Yeah, he freezes up.
Kids wearing shirts with numbers.
Yeah,
Ollie's right. Yeah, has to be like not even a football shirt. Like that's at least it's just like a shirt. Like it's
just
like
a shirt that has like a 3 on it.
It's kind of like a number. I'm like, is that a football? Is that rugby? I don't know what sport that represents, but she's right. Somebody always has it.
Everybody in this movie hated Ramona Flowers at some point.
Yeah, I've never seen Australian rules football, but that might be one of their jerseys. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right, so it turns out we find out in the hospital at the end it's Roy. He was overcome with grief when the kid that he didn't give a fuck about died. He killed all the wrong people. He let Vic is currently alive. He's eating 3 squares a day. He still has, as Holly pointed out, he still has his studded bracelet around his bicep. He's going to go on to make Return of the Living Dead. So he's okay. Pam, Dudley, and Tommy survive. Tommy's in the hospital, and then we get our confused ending, right, Larry?
Before we get to the confused ending,
oh yeah,
I need to talk another scene with Officer Mike Simonetta when he's explaining, because again, you have to explain this whole thing, and he's going through the newspapers, right? He's saying, "Oh, look, this is Jason, blah blah blah," and there's a mug shot of Jason. Did you notice that? There's like a picture of Jason with his mask on, in the newspaper. I'm like, who the fuck took a picture of Jason?
Is it Jason face on and then Jason profile?
No, I wish there was a profile shot.
He's got the board, and it just says F
Jason.
Yeah, it's like Crystal Lake Killer dead or something, and it's literally like just a picture of Jason's mask. Like, I'm like, how? Who the fuck took a pic? Like, hey, snap, and then you get like fucking in the neck with like a machete. Like,
well, he makes it in the paper a lot because in 4 there was that artist sketch. There was an artist sketch of him, which nobody's ever seen.
Woman goes on murder spree. Here's an artist rendition of her son.
At 4, there was all those yellow newspaper clippings from a day ago.
Yeah.
Yeah. So then you get the ending. Well, first you get the dream. Right? Doesn't he dreams that he kills Pam first?
Yes. Yeah. He dreams that he has the machete in his bed and he just runs her.
Right. And then he wakes up, sweating because he's a very sweaty kid. He is sweating a lot in this.
He sweats a lot.
And you find out he stole Roy's mask.
Martial arts makes you sweat, I assume. A lot of martial arts makes you sweat.
How then he sees stop that.
Then he sees the red Jason mask, the real Jason, and he does kind of like the Bewitched thing with his nose or something, and fucking Jason fades away. But then Stu's right, he gets up and he's got Roy's fucking Jason mask in there that apparently he managed to snag before getting hauled away in the ambulance.
Yeah, because these cops are the worst ever.
Yeah.
How do you just let someone take that evidence?
Yeah, and a giant knife, because he had a giant fucking knife that he must have taken.
It was
from
the
this
80s.
scene.
I think those just came in hospital rooms.
Yeah.
I guess, yeah, probably like next to the Gideon's Bible, like there's a giant fucking machete. Like maybe, dude, I don't know. Maybe the mask came in hospitals in 1989. It
Very
was like
possible.
Gideon's Bible, blue hockey mask, and the fucking machete. So then he throws probably threw a cat out the window. I'm not sure why the window broke. Like he probably had Roy's basket of cats. He just figured he'd get rid of all of them. So he threw the whole basket of cats out the window.
Oh, that makes me sad.
And Pam came in. And our last shot, I believe, is fucking Tommy with he's got the mask on now, and he's holding. So now you're supposed to believe that part 6 is coming, and again, Tommy is going to be Jason, because that's what you got at the end of part 4.
Yeah,
you got Corey Feldman's little fucking look, and I don't know. There was so much cocaine in this movie, not just in the scenes, but also
behind
obviously in the writer's room, at the director's chair. Apparently, there was cocaine everywhere.
1985, man. It was that was real cocaine in that one scene.
It probably was.
That's what they paid that guy with. They paid him his entire salary for this was he got to keep that porno mag, and he got to do the coke that was in that little kit there. All right. So before we get to our favorite kills and rating this thing, I do want to bring up something while we have people still checking this out. Pint stuff going on. So
that's a great visual. I love that. Jason went to glamour shots.
Stu, come on, give us a Jason.
Jason with a cat.
No, the best one would be this one. Wait, this one, you got to picture this. This is Jason right here. Straight on, and then the turned head up in the corner. You know those old ones? Yeah.
Yeah. And then a cat picture, he's holding his cat. He's holding the cat.
A basket of cats.
A whole basket.
All right. So before we get to the other stuff here, real quick, next week on the same night, on Tuesday, we are not doing a Friday the 13th thing. Larry, myself, what?
Oh, no, I'm acting in surprise.
Okay. I'm sorry. Larry, myself, Lloyd, and Shawnee Mack from Horror News Network are going to be doing a live video-only episode of Scary Larry's Pint of Horrors. So if you ever listen to the podcast, Larry has the list of 20 movies. We roll the die. We pick them out. Stu's done a couple with us. The last one, which was Wreck. So what's happening here is Halloween 3 Season of the Witch has been on the list and has never been picked. And I figured, you know what? Let's do that live since next week is Halloween. So we were going to be doing an episode live. It's not going to be an audio episode. It's just going to be us talking here on Facebook, YouTube, and Twitter. So come back for that live next week, next Tuesday, 7:30, same time. And then at the end of the week, right before Halloween, the episode of Pint of Comics that's coming out is one of our trash, tolerable, or treasure episodes where we take a movie that everybody hates, talk about it, and determine whether it deserves that fervor. And we had Stu on, and we are talking about Rob Zombie's Halloween Part 2. So you get to listen to that and
Larry
and find out whether
Larry is disappointed.
I can answer that question right now.
Well, here's the thing. I'll tell you right now, and this is no turn down to Stu, because Stu's always welcome on the show. I asked Larry first months ago if he would do that episode with us.
Oh, I'm hurt.
And he was pretty much like, no, fuck that movie. So I was like, well, Stu likes horror stuff. I want to do this movie. Let's do it. So Larry already passed on that. But I hope you listen to the episode.
Hard pass.
I hope you listen to the episode at the very least. No, okay. So next week, right here, Halloween 3, Season of the Witch. We are not going to sync it up live. Spielberg, there it is right there. We are just going to watch it ahead of time.
I was going to say, that's what you should do is like have it on and do like live commentary while you're watching it.
If I could figure that out at some point, Stu, I will do that too. That's a little bit ahead of my game.
Yeah.
So, all right. So let's get over to the first thing we're going to talk about before rating is it's favorite kill time, kids. And if you are watching, please comment with your favorite kill. Stu's kind of mentioned it. A lot of generic kills in this one.
There is one standout, and I don't think anything compared to it.
Okay, so I'll start. I don't think I've started so far yet. I'm gonna go with my favorite kill is Boy Fucks a Lot, who gets the belt around the eyes and the twist until essentially his head crushes. I like that scene. There's one other that I like a lot as well. I'll mention it at the end, but in case it's one of your favorites. But yeah, so belt around the eyes, twist around the tree, good to go. All right. Yep. Stu, what do you got?
The only one that was really and we just got it from Chris, the flare gun to the mouth.
Road flare to the face.
It. That was the best one by far. That came early on and nothing competed with it.
That was my now that it's been mentioned, that was my second.
Right in the mouth.
Right in the mouth. And it was a quick shot and it was close up. Very obviously an animatronic, but it was still cool. Lit up. Mm-hmm. It looked very good. Larry, what do you got?
Yeah, that's my favorite as well. I remember it being, I don't remember if it was a cover of Fangoria, but it was definitely in the pages because I remember having it on my wall as a kid. It was
you're talking flare gun?
The flare, yeah. But the belt was always a second favorite. It was a great, especially the way it cut in. Like,
the belt would have been my second too. It's pretty much those two. Like there are, I see Junior decapitation on the bike. That was all right. The shears through the boob girl's eyes. If it wasn't edited so poorly, like that's a creative kill. But you never really see anything. You just see shears coming down,
right? And
then later on, you see her eyes are cut out. So I don't think that was just a good kill visually wise. But yeah, the flare gun in the mouth that looked good on the screen.
Yeah, I like that. That's it's always been a favorite. Besides, how often do you get to kill one of the dudes from Lenny and Squiggy?
Yeah, one of the Beastie Boys
killing Kanicki from Grease.
And I do like that Holly added, because I laughed out loud when she yells at him and calls him a dildo. You know, normally I watch these movies and I just am sitting there enjoying it or whatever, but that one I was like, ha! Dildo.
Listen, for as ridiculous as those characters were, she had some lines, man. She was funny. She was good. And I guess I don't recognize her, but she's been in some stuff. She was in Sharky's Machine with Burt Reynolds. And
did we completely gloss over the fact that she makes a bomb threat in this movie too?
She does.
I've got a bomb on me. I'll blow you all up. Like,
one step closer, Mike Simonetta.
Yeah. Yeah, like chill out, lady. That what was her name? Ethel? Was that her name?
Ethel. Yeah. The character, yeah.
Yeah. She had some funny lines, man. She was good. Oh God Christ, she was in Coffee with Pam Grier. Look at her. Good God. The Bad Seed, Sharky's Machine, MASH. She's done a lot of stuff. Flamingo Kid, Growing Pains, John's favorite show.
Yeah, I love it. Big fan.
Oh shit, she was in Saved by the Bell, the new class.
Well, I got to be honest though, I'm not a fan of Growing Pains, but I will admit, any show that in the '80s was able to get a character in it named Boner, I give them full thumbs up.
Oh God, what was it? So Mike Stabone? What the fuck was this?
Yeah, Michael Stabone.
Right? What a shitty fucking show that was, man.
Yeah, it wasn't good. God, Leonardo DiCaprio couldn't save it either. So, Stu, can you bring up our averages? Let's do average this time. We're not going to go over every movie again, but I want to see where we sit on averages and then rate Friday the 13th Part 5. If you've been hanging out with us for these last hour and a half or so, thank you so much. Thanks for watching. I hope you guys come back for Halloween Part 3, Season of the Witch, and of course in a couple weeks when we do Jason 6, Jason Lives. Is the next one Telekinesis Girl, or is that 7?
No, that's 7.
Okay, all right. So Stu, what are our averages right now? Round up. Give us a round number.
Give us a round number?
Yeah, well,
I'll give you just 1 decimal.
Okay.
That'll be easy. So we have Larry's average score, by far the highest of all of us, as a 4.1.
Okay.
John, you're sitting at a 2.9, and my average is at a 2.8. But I will clarify, because we've mentioned before, you guys are rating these as Friday the 13th movies. I'm giving them the ratings that I give them on Letterboxd. So these are like my ratings just as a movie.
Okay, that's fair. Anybody out there, again, per usual, throw us your ratings on 0 to 5. We'll read them off. Let's start with the high scorer here. Let's start with Larry and find out where. Now, I want to point this out. Was it last night or the night before when Larry was watching this? I received a text from him saying, I'm about 20 minutes in and I want to shut this off. So let's see if it changed. Holly gives it a 2.5. Chris gives it a 2. Oh, this movie's this is not high up there.
No, I feel bad for you, John, because I know you're a big fan of this
I
one.
I love this one. I absolutely love this one. So Larry, what do you give it? Let's find out.
So I again, I haven't seen this in 10, maybe 15 years. I've probably only seen it a total of maybe 3 or 4 times in my life, and watching it last night reminded me exactly why. I really do not enjoy this movie. I'm going to drag my average way the fuck down and give this a there's something to be said for boobs.
Heavy boobs.
But then the boobs are dragged down by a crazy amount of kills, but not very many that you see.
Yeah.
And not very many that are creative. The only real creative ones are the belt and the road flare. Everything else is just standard fare. 1.5.
Oof.
Yeah.
Oh, that hurt. Eve
Sorry,
gives it a 1.75 only
because of enchiladas.
I didn't even think of enchiladas. I might have gone up a little bit if I remembered the enchiladas.
All right. So we'll go to me because I'm going to raise the bar, and then we'll go to Stu to bring it back down again. As I said before, there's a little bit of, I think, some nostalgia with me and my wife having a laugh at this movie. I still think that the characters across the board, for the most part, are the most fun, funniest. You guys are right. The kill count is huge, but there's not a lot of memorable kills. I tend to like when movies take chances, and the idea of this not being a Jason thing and there being a little bit of a mystery in it, I like. That factored all together, I gave Part 2 the highest score at 3.75. Part 2 is a better slasher movie than this, but I still, there's still a special place in my heart for this. I go 4. This gets a 4.
Are you fucking kidding? Did you just give this a higher score than Part 2?
Yeah.
Have you lost your? How do I shut this fucking thing off?
Now who's a potato head?
Cut my fucking. Where'd you smash this goddamn? Holy shit! I can't believe that just happened. My stars and garters, you dildo.
My stars and garters. I stand by my 4.
Yeah, you really are a potato head.
It's okay. I'm fine with that. I go 4. All right, Stu.
4. Wow, that's absurd.
Ruin our night.
There's a part of me that, like, I mean, this came out when I was 4 years old, and retroactively, I can't believe this movie got made.
Fuck out of here.
You ever watch a television series, and as you go through the season, there are some episodes where, like, really just push the plot forward and really develop everything. And then every so often you get that filler episode where nothing really happens, and it's like, oh, maybe there's some character development, but you could have cut that episode from the season entirely. Jason Part 5 is a filler episode of a TV show for a movie, and I can't believe they actually had the balls to release this and be like, yeah, this is a complete standalone movie, and fucking joy. But I will say,
Four.
I appreciated the Tommy Jarvis aspect of things. It's almost a precursor to what they did in Halloween H2O, where you have this character who has legitimate PTSD. But aside from anything involving Tommy's characterization, this movie's a pretty big failure. I'll give it a 1.75.
Wow. Well, Stu, here's what I got to say about that. It's a fucking 4. I knew going into this I was going to get laughed at, and I know where we're all kind of sitting on these things because Larry's made it clear that after 4 he pretty much checked out. So I'm curious to see if we can gain some traction on his scores. And I know Stu you essentially have
No,
put it
that's
right out there.
my
Well,
my next 2 or 3 I'm real high on. So
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So
I love Zombie Jason.
all right. So we're gonna get into Zombie Jason pretty soon. Jason will be coming back in Friday the 13th, Part 6. Let's see. Holly has a question. Would this have been better with more Feldman?
It depends on what kind of Feldman, because I'm not buying Feldman as a killer.
Yeah.
He was still like fucking 10 years old. Like, who's he killing? Like, listen, listen, it would be better with Corey Feldman as Michael Jackson. That's the only
modern Corey Feldman.
Yeah,
time traveling back to play.
If Feldman was dressed like Michael Jackson and was just sprinkled throughout this movie, 2.5. Yeah, I think that would have really, really upped it. But honestly, I think Feldman, his whole arc played out in 4.
Yeah.
I don't think there's any way to, unless I would have been much more satisfied with Tommy Jarvis being the killer in a Part 5 situation, rather than you just tell me that this guy saw the son that he's never talked to get fucking killed, and you decide to kill 17 people other than the person who killed the son that you've never talked to. Fuck you. Fuck you, Roy. Fuck you, Roy Burns.
Get your pencil out there. Holly would like you to write this down. lick your pencil. Well, again, Friday the 13th, Part 5, A New Beginning. I give it a 4. If you look on the back here, you get Vic killing a Candy Boy, and then you get, man, I can't get used to the backwards thing. And then you get Eyeball Dude getting his eyeballs burned out.
I'm just going to start bringing out a slew of movies like a ton better than Friday the 13th Part fucking. What did we watch? 5?
Right.
Where's my season 2 of Golden Girls? Where is that?
I mean, Golden Girls is better than anything. You could bring that out against anything.
I was just kidding, Stu. Stu, calm down.
I'll show you real quick a couple of things that I'll be watching soon.
Oh God, what do you got? I still got to get that.
Bruce Lee Criterion.
Oh, I could upset Larry right now.
Oh God, don't.
I told Lloyd I would do this because I've actually 100% never seen it in my life. Probably this Thursday, I'm going to watch The Exorcist.
Have you never seen The Exorcist?
I've just never seen it. I know, right? It came out 7 years before I was born. I don't know. I just never got around to it.
All right.
Stu, seriously, I can't even tell you right now.
Do it alone in the dark.
That's what Lloyd said. Lloyd said, do that and wear my pee-pee pants.
Yeah, it is legitimately a terrifying movie experience. I saw it when I was a teenager, and it scared the shit out of me. And I'm not religious. I don't believe in all that stuff, but it scared the shit out of me. I didn't see it again until Larry showed it last year when we were still allowed to do things in person. He showed it Christmas time, and I kind of wondered because, I'm like, I wonder if this is going to hold up or if this is a lot of hype. The Exorcist is genuinely a fucking frightening movie. Genuinely.
I have no preconceived notions. I know something about throwing up pea soup, and that's literally all I know.
Yeah, I would recommend watching Part 3 afterwards.
Yes, okay. Skip 2. If you like 1, if you do like 1, don't watch 2. Go right to 3. 3, I've said this before. I saw it in the movie theaters as a kid. I did not see it again until Larry showed it last year. But there's a jump scare in Exorcist 3 that I never forgot. Never.
Yes. I've seen this jump scare on like listicles on YouTube. I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, still gets me. I still jump every time.
Oh, it's a combination of the what's happening in the scene, and like there's an extreme close up right at the right moment. It's Sue. Yeah. Are you going to see that, you said, or you're going to watch it like on DVD, or you're going?
I'm gonna watch it on Plex.
Okay. On well, shut the lights off and enjoy. It is awesome. It is an awesome movie. Holly asks, Larry, do you have anything to offer up on Shudder? Is there anything new going on?
I actually haven't checked Shudder lately, so I'm not sure. I've been watching Friday the 13th Part 5. I'm sorry.
I watched on Shudder within the last week or so a movie called The Deeper You Dig.
That's good. All right. I liked it.
It was all right. Yeah.
you talk about an indie movie that was made by a family.
You have to appreciate how low rent it is because it looks really good for how low rent it is.
Yeah, it was made by a husband, wife, and their daughter, and it's fucking for what probably on like 20-30 grand, if I had to guess, and it's for what it is. It's really good.
The only things I've seen, and I think this might have been on Shudder. I had not seen it since I was a kid, and I don't think it's good. Maybe Larry loves it. I'm not sure. I watched Children of the Corn, which I had not seen in a long time.
Oh yeah.
No, that's not good. Not good.
I mean, it's no Jason Part 5.
It's the first 45 minutes of Children of the Corn is Sarah Connor and the guy from 30 something driving around.
In the corn.
Literally,
they're corn, John. They're in the corn.
Yeah, I don't know. I didn't care for it. And I also watched another disappointing, very highly rated genre movie this weekend. It was called The Gate, and Larry showed it.
You can fuck right off. If something deserves a 4 from you, it's The Gate, because The Gate's a fucking great movie. So, I did catch something. You know me and background shit, right? I love looking at backgrounds in movies.
Yeah.
And we've spoken about Anthrax recently, right?
Oh yeah.
You know Anthrax's little mascot, the Knot Man.
Yeah.
So there's this scene when Tommy Jarvis first comes in to Pinehurst, and if you zoom in, there's the Knot Man.
There he is. Yeah.
I was like, Knot Man.
And that had to be like right at the beginning of Anthrax too.
Yeah.
Like,
to God, I don't know what Knot Man is. I know of Anthrax. I saw that picture. I saw that in the movie, and I was like, is that Wario?
Yeah. No, that's like their mascot. Like bands back then had mascots.
Yeah. Vic Rattlehead and Eddie.
Yeah. Eddie, of course.
All right. So this has been Friday the 13th, part 5. And it's easily a 4. Part 6 will be coming up next week. Join us for Officer Mike Simonetta. That cracks me up. It's a fucking 4. Join us for Halloween 3, Season of the Witch, and we'll be talking about that classic. And then at the end of the week, go to the podcast and check Stu out with us talking about Rob Zombie's Halloween 2. And Larry's mad about that. So thank you for joining us, guys.
Though, Larry, it's a good episode.
Yeah, you'll enjoy it, Larry. I think
I'll
I'll make you listen to it.
I'll listen.
All right. Thank you, everybody. Have a good night.